Hey everybody, Zach Dean here, and I just finished the Frequency Revolution Masterclass. It's everything about frequency in terms of devices that we use today in medicine. It's about biohacking. It's about how to protect ourselves in today's busy, stressful, technological world, as well as the frequency therapy device Healy. So I'm going to timestamp every single part of the masterclass below. You can pick and choose which area you want to go learn. It's even more detailed than last week's masterclass, so I think you guys are going to enjoy it a lot. If anyone has any questions, please reach out and enjoy.
Hello and welcome everybody. Zach Dean here. Today we have the masterclass, The Frequency Revolution, how frequency is the key to optimal wellness. So excited to share this with you. For those of you who joined us last week, we've changed it up a little bit and we've got a bit more of a variety of topics in here. For those of us brand new, you're going to learn a whole bunch of information around energy, frequency, vibration, as well as our incredible Healy device that I've got on here. I've been running the release programs this morning. This is what's been coming up for me. And I found this device many years ago, 2.5 years ago, through a friend of mine I'd known for over 13 years. And he said to me, there's a machine from Germany. It's based on a technology that they've been using for 12 years at the time to scan the body to see what's out of balance and then send microcurrents through rods back into the body. They treated 500,000 people. They had 3,000 practitioners all around the world, and it helps the mitochondria. And I was mind blown because I'd just been learning about mitochondria, which is the little organelles inside of our cells that create energy, or ATP. And that really created curiosity for me. And from that point, I learned everything about the product, everything about the company, everything outside of health and wellness, or as far as I could span around how to help our mitochondria. It's been said that 85% of our diseases in society at the moment are a mitochondrial DNA mutation. So we have our genetic DNA, normal DNA, double helix. That's important. We get that from our parents, but we also have another DNA. It's called our mitochondrial DNA. And the mitochondrial DNA, if we can support, can actually keep us healthier and vital and younger for longer. And if we support that, it speeds up the recovery. If we don't support it, we age quicker. So this is really important to me because at the age of 15, I was going through a bunch of health challenges and I was praying one day and I said, if I could get through these health challenges, I will then dedicate my whole life to helping other people with their health. Because at the time I was struggling, I was picked on and bullied. I was a chubby kid. I had lots of allergies and asthma. I couldn't go do sports, walk up a hill and get asthma attacks. And learning difficulties at school, absolutely hated school. So, and definitely at times didn't want to be alive. So luckily, what we ask for usually shows up. And through family, friends, and mentors and things like that, books, I was able to turn my life around. And then I was like, okay, super grateful. If it's not that hard to be healthy, if you follow the right strategy or the right system. But then it was like, how do I help other people? How do I, influence and share this with the world? And that's been my fascination over the last 17 years now. So this is going to be a conglomeration the last 3 years of my learning around how to maximize our healing potential in our body. And really there needs to be a revolution. And just before we get into this, in terms of the device, in Europe, it's a medical device for the treatment of pain, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, skeletal pain and migraine, as well as the supportive treatment of mental illness, such as depression, anxiety, and sleep disorders. So that last sentence, all other applications of the Healy are not recognized due to a lack of evidence in the sense of conventional medicine. So some of what we're going to share with you today has a bunch of science, peer-reviewed, PubMed, some internal studies as well, but other doctors that have a lot of science. But really some of what we're going to share with you today is going to be outside the box of normal conventional understanding. And I think the reason we're here is because the world's in a pandemic. It's been in a pandemic in many, many different areas for quite some time, and the world's sick. So in the comments, let us know your answers to some of these questions. And this is why we are here. So is society getting healthier or is it getting more sick? Please put your answer into the chat. Is society getting healthier or more sick? Are mental health issues going up or going down? Are mental health issues going up or going down? Are people using pills and pharmaceuticals more or less? more or less? Are people looking for alternative solutions more or less? Are people looking for alternative solutions more or less? And lastly, are people needing to do more for their health now than ever before, or is it easier to be healthy these days? So I feel like some of us will be on the same page here. The world is getting sicker. People are dying at a younger age. Kids are dying before their parents. There's a pandemic that's been hidden in the background amongst the noise the last couple of years. And it's really important that we stand up and create a revolution within our own life and be the ripple of change outwards. It's the only way we create a revolution is to be the change. And this is why we're here. So what would happen to your health or your family's health, or maybe the world's health, if they found a device, or you found a device that helped you physically as well as emotionally? This helped you with pain, reduce inflammation, speed up recovery, helped your skin repair quicker, deepened your sleep, helped your organs regenerate, helped you with the performance in the gym, or your memory or your energy, or it helped you emotionally with your stress and overwhelm, maybe limiting beliefs, trauma, disempowering habits like procrastination and distraction. What if you found a device that allowed you to break through that? Drum roll. We're introducing to you guys Healy, right? I've got the zebra crossing there. This is in Byron Bay, because Healy is kind of like a zebra crossing. It's going to give you the shortcut in a way to your healthier self. So it's from Germany, as I mentioned to you guys. It's a little smart device that connects in with your smartphone, and through the apps and how it works, it connects to either cords through microcurrent to your wrist straps here, to your wrists, that run microcurrent into the body, or ear clips that help to balance the brain hemispheres, relax the vagus nerve to regulate the nervous system, as well as sticky pads back into certain areas as well to reduce inflammation. So the Healy, some people find it hard to understand. It's like, what do you mean there's a device that links with my smartphone that I can use for my health, that helps me physically and emotionally? I've never heard of that before. And I was the same. I never heard of this whatsoever, but these are some metaphors to help you get your head around it. So Healy is kind of like the portable charger to your laptop or your iPad or your phone. It's an energy battery charger to your cells. Healy is kind of like the Swiss Army knife. Like if I was stuck in the forest and had to survive, I'd want a Swiss Army knife. That would be on my top 5 things because of all the variety of support that I get from a Swiss Army knife, right? So the Healy is like the Swiss Army knife of frequency machines. It has such a variety of support for the body. If you've got another metaphor, please put it into the comments. I'd love to hear it as well. Healy is like a defibrillator. So you put the sticky pads on, similar with a defibrillator, onto your body. It's not going to be as strong, but it's going to be very subtle to regenerate the energy in that area to help the mitochondria. Healy is kind of like the maps directing you to the best, quickest route of where you want your body and mind to be. It's going to be like the maps. It's going to give you the best route. It's going to save you time as well. It's like a health coach, right? It's going to recommend the best programs. You go see a health coach or a health practitioner, and they're going to say, eat this or do this and do that, which is still really important. This is never going to bypass a practitioner. This is going to be what you can use in between sessions to maximize their advice as well. Healy speeds up recovery of the skin dramatically. So it's like everyone should have it in their first aid kit. Healy also helps our mind relax and be calm. So it's very powerful for meditation and one's spiritual journey. And then Healy is great for the brain. If you want to focus at work or focus at home, there's some amazing brain function programs. It's like putting the roller guards up when you go bowling. I put the roller guards up so the ball doesn't go into the gutter. It's supporting the ball to get to the end. That's what Healy is. And it's kind of like Chinese medicine. I got acupuncture for the first time yesterday. They put needles all through my arm and my back, and I'm focusing on a couple of meridians and organs, and they put little electrodes and they put electricity onto these this acupuncture, and my body's going through a bit of detox today. I was very strong. So Healy is like acupuncture, but without the needles. And trust me, some of those really hurt. So it's painless. It's very easy to use. And Healy is kind of like putting the light switch on in your house, turning the electricity on in your body so that you shine brighter. So where did this all start, right? Where did this all start? With thinking about energy, frequency revolution. When we think about medicine today, supplementation, food, even food are packets of light, and light is a frequency. We're eating frequencies, we're drinking water that has certain frequencies, we're taking supplements that create a frequency response in our body. But where did it happen? Like, where did this start? Before that, and surely frequency and energy and vibration have been around for a while. So in the Bible, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So what is the Word? It's vibration, it's voice, it's a frequency. Nikola Tesla would say that the secrets of our universe are in energy, frequency, and vibration. So when we speak, how we move, how we are in the environment, this is all impacting the frequency around us, but it's also that frequencies around us are impacting us as well. And we are interwoven with nature and our body. So this is where the secrets of the universe are found. And Einstein said that the future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. So this is quite a long time ago. Interesting facts. So frequency has been used for a very long time. I've even read studies where people have been riddled with cancer and had been struck by lightning, and the lightning actually helped to cure them of the cancer. I don't recommend it. This is not a webinar about that, but it's been used for a very long time as energy, right? Without energy, we can't power our body, we can't power our house. And so Einstein was asked how he felt about being the smartest man alive, Albert Einstein's replied, "I don't know. You have to ask Nikola Tesla." So who was Nikola Tesla? This was a man who lit the world, literally. He demonstrated the wonders of alternating current, electricity in Chicago in 1893, which became the standard power in the 20th century. Tesla designed the first hydroelectric power plant in Niagara Falls, the Tesla coil, in 1891, and it's widely used today in radio and television sets. He's created over 700 patents worldwide. So his vision and his inventions are here today. If it wasn't for his invention, you wouldn't be listening to this on your computer or your laptop or your phone. So a lot of what we're going to share today is about energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what the revolution is all about. So who has heard of Royal Raymond Rife? Please put a yes into the chat. So not only did he invent one of the most powerful microscopes ever seen, he used to identify foreign matter, which he called a virus at the heart of every cancer. He then went on to work out the energetic frequency of each of the different viruses he found and built a zapper, which could adjust the frequency and kill off the viruses, leaving healthy cells untouched. So he was given so much fame and success, but then he was shut down and sued, and he became quite a poor person and died a pauper, they said. Very unfortunate. But the question is, if he created a frequency machine that helped to regenerate the cells or take out the bad cells in the body, and Nikola Tesla he pretty much created free energy as well, free energy devices. So Nikola Tesla created free energy, yet we still pay for electricity bills. We use non-renewable resources like coal in Australia to create electricity, yet we still have to pay for it. And he created free electricity. And then Rife has created pretty much free medicine, right? One of these devices the whole family could use. So you might be thinking, why don't more people know about these guys? Well, Royal Raymond Rife said there is no American Medical Association. There is an American drug syndicate. Those boys hate the word cure like the devil hates holy water. So there's been a bit of a suppression on exactly frequency therapy, because it is such a prevention. And prevention, as we know, is the cure. So this is where Healy comes in, a revolution where a device, a company's created with, Healy has the Rife frequencies as well, by the way, as well as other frequencies that we'll go into. But Healy creates a solution where people are spending so much money into other areas where they're literally unsustainable, unnatural kind of solutions, whether it be pharmaceuticals or, all these other so-called medicines. There's billions of dollars spent on cures that really don't work. If you go to America and watch some of the television commercials, pharmaceutical, take this pill to fix your back pain, and then you get like 20,000 different side effects and possible death. So there's a massive industry, and it's the sickness industry, and they get paid for us being sick. But Healy is a wellness device. So if we do things today, eat well, exercise well, drink water, get sunlight, all the basics today, we're going to be healthier tomorrow and the next day. And we're going to speed up our health. And we're going to slow down the aging clock. So Healy has solutions for learning, for beauty, the beauty industry, preventative medicine, weight management, exercise, the wearable industry, right? The different watches out there, the app industry, the pain industry, the supplements, there's digital nutrition frequencies. And also in 41 billion for the animal industry, right? There's a whole testimonial page just for animals. So Healy is a solution that creates support for all of these people. But one of the things that kind of get thrown at me sometimes are like, oh, that's cool. You know, this guy Rife, this guy Nikola Tesla, energy, frequency, vibration. That's woo-woo. That's super new age. And people put up a bit of a guard sometimes, which is fine. I get it. It's just education, and education is really the key. And so energy and frequency and vibration, when you look at it, is actually just physics. Did anyone study physics at high school? I wish I did. I didn't. And so we've been surrounded by it our whole life, whether it be instruments, right? Ancient instruments brought people together. The didgeridoo in Australia, for example, or certain drums in Africa and different flutes in, Asia, they were healing modalities, sound healing. Some frequencies of sound relax my body. They relax us, great to listen to at the end of the day. Or some frequencies of sound we listen to and it stresses me out, right? The lyrics, the beat, it's just overwhelming. So sound has an impact on our body. What about light? Right? The sun is a frequency. Light is a frequency. We have in the morning, the sunrise and sunset, this beautiful red light, orange light. It's so amazing. And then we have more of a white light, a blue light during the day. Both have benefits. For example, infrared saunas or beauty clinics will have the red light to regenerate collagen and regenerate and reduce inflammation to help the mitochondria. And similarly, beauty clinics will have certain blue light to kill bacteria on the skin for acne. This is all energy, frequency, vibration. Heat is an energy, right? I love a hot bath sometimes or a hot shower, right? These frequencies are very beneficial, or around a campfire. We love a good campfire. I sleep so good. Magnetism, right? I use magnets growing up on the fridge, putting magnets there. They're pretty much sticking out of it's just magic pretty much. But technology is evolving. So we have the evolution from, say, the first commercially available computer released for simple data handling in 1951. We then have the first CERN web browser software is released to the public. We got invented the World Wide Web whilst working at CERN in 1989. Wow, CERN's quite popular. Smartphones is released, supporting calls, email, and fax in 1994. Up until smart cars, what have we got here? Google begins testing delivery cars, right? Electric cars, cryptocurrency. So the evolution of technology is growing. We can't stop it. It is, it's quite sometimes overwhelming for people, but at the same time, if we learn to utilize it within our own life, we can actually accelerate, biohack, support our own biology. So this is where Healy is. Healy is the next revolution of smart devices that anyone can use to self-heal at home, so to speak. couple of other examples here. Frequency devices that you've been using or may have seen for, you know, your whole life. Car remotes. I go to the mall, and I come out of the mall, and I sometimes forget where I parked, but I end up walking to the car park, and I'm like, oh, where's my car? Where's my car? And I use my key, and I go, doo-doo, and then either the honk goes off or the lights go on, and I find my car. That device, that car key, is a frequency device, right? It's a certain infrared ray. It's a light frequency that captures in the car. And it's only my car that opens, no other car. What about metal detectors? Those guys on the beach sometimes, or ladies. We've got DEXA scans, MRIs, fitness machines. If you've ever had a body fat composition scan, like I came to Thailand and I got a fat composition scan just before I started all my training to see my muscle, my fat, my bones, and there's more fat on this side, less fat on that. So frequency machines have been used for a very long time, and MRIs, that's not touching your body. It's actually, if you've ever had an MRI, it's around your body, and that looks straight through your muscles, straight through your bones sometimes, and you can actually see through your skin. So we are also invisible. It's just a different frequency that allows us to pick up the energy that's not physical and allows us to go through it. Whether it's this ultrasound when a woman is pregnant, that's a frequency machine. Electricians use it as well, or not ultrasounds, but they use it with the electricity meters. Our phones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, the headsets that we use, the speakers that we use. We live in a frequency-filled world. Animals use it. Sonar, for example, dolphins. They're pretty smart. So I think the issue is that most people find it hard to believe it if they don't actually see it or feel it first. You know, sometimes like seeing is believing, and I get it. There's so many things thrown to us these days, and it's like, oh, here we go, another one of these like crazy things. But really, let's talk about light for a second. For what we actually see in our physical reality right now, through your eyes looking here right now, we're only seeing 1% of the light spectrum. So this is called the electromagnetic spectrum. You can do some research. Whether they're radio waves, I've used radios my whole life, microwaves, right? I know lots of people who use microwaves. These are frequency machines that utilize light for heat, or radio waves are a type of light as well, but we can't see it. The only visible light that we can see is only 1%. So humans can only see 1% of the visible light spectrum, which means we can only see 1% of what's going on around us. In other words, we are unable to see a vast 99% of the world that we live in. Take a moment to absorb that. Dramatic pause. The majority of our existence is unseen. Crazy. So this is the light spectrum. We have this beautiful, I saw this beautiful rainbow here yesterday afternoon. It was just like so beautiful. And that's tapping into the visible light spectrum, but there's X-rays and microwaves and radio waves going through the air, EMFs, you know, from our phone. So there is more to this world than we think. Moral of the story is you don't need to see, feel, or understand it fully for you to get the benefit from it. Even the light switch here on the wall, I don't understand exactly how the light switch works. There's different theories. One theory is that the energy goes right around the circuit and connects. The other theory is that it uses magnetism. I've been checking out some research online, but there are debates on how our light switch even works. And so this is where I benefit a lot from the light switch. I don't need to know exactly how it works, but I use it. And that's where even the Healy, I don't understand it completely, but it works. And sometimes getting results is more important than having to know everything. But I'll show you some more of the science. Now that we are all in agreement that we live in a world full of energy, frequency, and vibration, it's just physics, then let me get started with the presentation and blow your mind even more. If you're ready, type in the word ready into the chat. Drum roll again. So here are some examples of how energy, frequency, and vibration also shows up in our reality. It's called Kirlian photography. It proves that you are energy and you are energy that's manifested in the physical form. and it allows the bare eye to see the energy which inhibits and surrounds our physical body. This knowledge can be used to heal any disease, pain, imbalance in the body. Kirlian photography. Look, guys, put your BS meter up high. Go do your own research. Don't take my word for it. But when they use these plates that have a certain electricity in them, and they put organic food, non-organic hands on there, it represents. See here, the photographic technique utilizes 50,000 volts in a broad range of frequencies to resonate with the test objects, capturing their patterns for analysis, whether living or non-living. So everything has a frequency. Our phone right now, this computer has frequencies coming off it that our eye cannot pick up on. Hands, right? Beautiful. This is when like I hurt my neck the other day, and what do I want to do instantly is like put my hand over my neck. You know what I mean? It's like I hurt myself and someone's like, you put your hands over that area. Sometimes it just helps. There's literally the frequency and electricity. Some people's energy is stronger than others. So people who work on themselves, like here, the bottom right is a stronger fingerprint. Someone who might not be looking after their health and eating processed food and toxins and etc. We're going to explain to you why our voltage is low. But this is why some people's energy field, you can feel it. You're like, wow, this person's lit, right? On fire. So that's also the photography there. Another example. So write that down, do some research on Kirlian photography. That's a revolution in itself. That is mind-blowing. We should be learning that in schools. We should be learning that everywhere. Cymatics, one of my faves. Cymatics is the study of how sound impacts physical form, whether it be water or they get a vibrational plate. This man's got a vibrational machine and a plate that vibrates at certain hertz, and he puts sand on there or certain powder, and it vibrates in these beautiful geometric shapes, whether it be 1,000 hertz, 5,000 hertz, 1,000,000 hertz, 10 hertz. They all have a different pattern. 4,049 hertz, 1,033 hertz. That's what they look like. So this company, Healy, have mapped the cymatic sound frequencies in hertz of our liver, our eyes, our pancreas, our lungs, our digestive system, our skin, our organs, every part of our body. So they know the right cymatic frequency to send into the body to remind the body to accelerate its healing, to go, hey, you forgot your cymatic based on the toxins and where the world's at and maybe negative thoughts and trauma. This sends the reminder into those cells to vibrate at the right frequency. Change your frequency, change your reality, change your future. Look at this. This is kind of like a beautiful pattern on a leopard. I think it's a leopard. Beautiful patterns in nature, in animals, turtle shells, amazing. When we look at nature, it is the best architect, right? We're just like, it's amazing. Human beings try and copy nature sometimes. They do a really good job. Sometimes they don't do a really good job. But when it comes to frequencies, frequencies don't lie. Certain frequencies reduce scar tissue. Certain frequencies help regenerate the eyes. Certain frequencies help the teeth, right? Frequencies don't lie. So when you match it from nature, you can actually mimic and get the similar results or same results, even in food. How beautiful. Resonance. So this is what Royal Raymond Rife did. His frequency machine was the same resonance of the cancer, viruses, and bacteria resonating at such a high pitch or such a high frequency, backwards and forwards, repetition, that the frequency was from the microcurrent was then matching onto these other organelles in the petri dish. So what happened, the sound waves through time and space hitting one tuning fork, the vibration matches over to the other tuning fork. They need to be the exact same note for it to work. This is where the resonance, have you ever seen a glass? I'm not going to practice this. Does anyone want to practice? Singing into a glass. Make sure you got glasses on when you do it. And it can smash because the note that the opera singer is singing, just look it up on YouTube. It's beautiful. It's fascinating. The note matches the frequency of the glass. And when it's so strong, it can't go anywhere, the energy, and it smashes. Sound creates form. Sound can destroy. sound can create. Dr. Masaru Emoto. This guy's a fascinating human. The Hidden Messages in Water. You can check out his New York best-selling book. This is in a movie called What the Bleep Do We Know? Down the Rabbit Hole. It's a documentary. It's fascinating. He studied how certain frequencies, words like the word thank you, or I love you, or peace, or evil, he would actually write the word on some water, freeze the water, and then slice it really thinly, and then experiment, like look at it under a microscope. And the water crystallized in different geometric cymatic patterns because of the intention of the words. This is where one of my favorite proverbs is, life and death is on the tongue. When we speak beautiful, healthy thoughts to ourselves, what usually happens? We feel better. We feel more healthy. When we talk to ourselves like, I'm sick, I'm angry, I hate myself, this sucks, I'm a failure, that has a frequency and impacts our body, because our body is water. So how we think, how we talk to ourselves in the mirror, how we talk to ourselves when no one's around, how we talk to other people is a frequency and a vibration, and it actually impacts physical form. So Rice experiment. You can check this out online. You can do this yourself. This is a 27-day experiment. 1 glass jar of rice had I hate you. And usually what happens is the person will go to that jar. It's in one part of the room and say, you're the worst rice ever. I hate you. And then put the other glass of rice in another area with I love you. You're the best rice ever. Keep going, rice. I love you. And support it. And so the vibration, the intention, like from Dr. Emoto, like from Cymatics, right? And if also by touching as well, the electricity coming off our body, over 27 days, the I love you looked quite nice. The I hate you looked moldy and looks gross. So this is what we're doing to our body. Life and death is on the tongue. So we can literally speak ourselves, think ourselves into health, and we can do that as well into sickness. If you agree, please put a yes into the chat. Am I the only one? Simply, your thoughts impact your reality. They do. Now, to take this a step further, and this is something brand new piece of content that I haven't shared on the last webinar, but this is called the double slit experiment. Have you heard of the double slit experiment? Please put a yes into the chat. The double slit experiment is a quantum or a physics experiment, either done through light, done through electrons being shot out of a machine, or done on water. So this shows up in nature. The double slit experiment with a light through 2 slits. It's called a double slit, 2 slits. Picture that, or this. When light goes through it, the light goes through the 2 slits, and there's a pattern that's spread out. There's multiple possibilities of where the light's going, right? So that's what happens with light. With an electron or a light source, it goes through one wave, and then it's interfered with the other waves, and it goes onto the wall. There's multiple possibilities, kind of like multiple realities of where that could go. But they want to study this. This is done in water. They get 2 balls and they push on the water like this. It creates this scattered pattern. So how do you feel, for example, when your thoughts are scattered? When you're doing 101 different things, you've got multiple tabs open in your mind. How do you feel? The energy is dispersed. I'm making up words here as well. It's spread out. And there's multiple, like I could do this chore, I could do that, I've got to go to the shops, I've got to do this, go to that. And you've got like a million things to do. Is your energy strong? No, it's fully dispersed out. But what happens when you observe your thoughts, maybe through meditation, conscious breath, and you focus on one thing? My favorite book is The One Thing. If you haven't read it, I'll listen to it. It's called The One Thing. It's the power of the one thing. This demonstrates it in this experiment. It's called the observer effect. The observer effect is a quantum theory which concludes that just by observing, an observer can change the very thing that they are looking at. I'll read that again. Just let that land. It's a quantum theory which concludes that just by observing, an observer can change the very thing that they're looking at. It suggests that the impact on an object's surrounding environment leads to a reaction and a change in the behavior of that object. Our own approach and methodology centers on this theory, changing perceptions and subsequent interactions through the power of the external observation. So when we focus on one thing, how good do you feel when you complete that one thing? You complete the next thing, you complete the next thing. There's a momentum that builds. That's because the power of observation creates a higher probability. We live in a world of mathematics where there's a higher probability of you achieving something if you focus directly on it and reduce all distraction. We can all agree on that. This is proving it. Literally, the experiment says that by observing the experiment, the experiment changes. Look at the top. I thought I'd get this. So there's a little teddy bear, right? It's like Sesame Street. He's not looking at the experiment, and the energy on the far wall is fully dispersed. On the right side, before observation, the waves spread out over space and time. There is a higher probability of multiple areas the energy goes. When he looks underneath that, he looks directly at the experiment. At the time of observation, particle localize space-time event. It's more singularized, it's more singular, it's more focused on two realities there. So there's a higher probability of you achieving something by focusing directly on it and reducing all distraction. This is an experiment that proves that. What we think about, we bring about. We focus on health. We focus on a specific affirmation or gratitude or prayer that's creating a cymatic through our thoughts, into our vibrating into our cells, changing our cell structure, our blueprint. That's through what we focus on. This proves it. Obviously, the ancients have known it for years. A lot of you guys know it intuitively, but that's an experiment that just blew my mind. Please do some research. So the next part of this is like, okay, voltage. Voltage is like a battery. So our battery cells, our cells in our body can get flat through many different things. I'll go through the 5 areas that cause low voltage in the body, but literally through stress. When the voltage of our cell changes, on the bottom left here, you've got -70 millivolts. That's a healthy cell. Then you have -50 millivolts. That's an aging cell. There's inflammation and aches. And then 0 is cell death, right? Pretty simple. It's like a battery. So Healy helps your charge, the electrical voltage, get back to -70 millivolts for a healthy cell. That's how it works. Bruce Lipton talks about this in The Biology of Belief. He says that every cell in your body is a battery, right? And the emotions that we felt, or not the emotions that we felt, but maybe even in the womb, when we were in the womb of our mother, the emotions that she felt on a regular basis went into us. And then for the first 7 years of our life, we were in more of a gamma theta brainwave state. So a lot of the experiences that we were observing in life, goo gaga, were going straight into our computer and straight into our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind controls the majority of our reality. It created patterns of how to be healthy, how to feel love, how to be successful, how to just communicate. So the first 7 years of our life and also in the womb was the imprinting phase. And some of us now today are going out into the world and finding us doing the same disempowering habit with our health, with our relationships, with our money, with like a spiritual connection with ourselves, procrastinating. This all comes as a result of our biology has a belief, and the beliefs create a reality. And if we keep feeling certain feelings, they can make us sick. And we keep feeling certain feelings, they can make us healthy. So if you want to do some research, you can check that out. And it's all a battery, as Bruce Lipton says. Dr. Robert O.Becker, this guy is the G. He is incredible. He created some amazing books, Body Electric, Electromagnetism and Life, Cross Currents. And he studied salamander lizards. Now, this is what a salamander lizard would do. It would regenerate. The leg gets cut off. The salamander lizard naturally regenerates. Perfect. So they were like, why does that happen? Because a frog, if we cut the frog's leg off, it doesn't regenerate. What's the difference? So they found the exact voltage and microcurrent for the salamander that it created when it's regenerated itself, bone, ligament, tissues, nerves, everything. They pinpointed it into a battery and they stuck it to the frog's leg. And guess what happened to the frog's leg? The bone grew, the ligaments grew, the arm grew, everything about it grew back as a result of microcurrent. So this was done in the 80s. Yeah, absolutely amazing. What do we do today when we cut ourselves? We put a Band-Aid on it, maybe some cream. Imagine you could put a device on your wounds and speed up the recovery. That's what this does. Dr. Jerry Tennant, he figured this out as well through his book, Healing is Voltage. Acupuncture muscle batteries. What does that mean? Muscle batteries. So the body is a portable electric device, is what he says. If we're walking around the world, we don't have a cord that plugs into the power point, do we? Like our computer or our phone. Can you imagine that? So how do we charge our cells up? Where does the energy come from? Well, he says that there's actually 5 key fundamental batteries that are inbuilt in our body. And if we can master this understanding, we can maximize our health. So the one is the muscles. Who feels better when they go for a walk, right? We feel better. Get outside, fresh air, moving your muscles. They are what's called piezoelectric. Google this. I think it's like 1880. They discovered this when they smash metal onto crystal quartz, metal or pliers, and they pull across it. It creates electricity. This is a natural phenomenon. It's physics. So our bones are kind of like the crystal, and then our ligaments are kind of like the hammer. So when we move, our ligaments and our muscles are charging up with the bones and creating an electrical voltage through the muscles moving. This is why people who move their body and do low resistance training they look better, but they have so much more energy. And when they're older, they look a lot more healthier. They have more energy in their body. Massive believer in fitness and movement, especially outside in the sun. The fascia. The fascia is that white stringy fiber between the arteries and the nerves. This is kind of like the wiring in the house, right? We're talking about the power point here. Click on, there's wiring in the wall. So the wall of our body, we've got the skin, we've got different parts, different layers of the dermis and the skin, but the fascia is specifically like the wiring and the battery system of the body. How good do you feel when you do yoga and you stretch or myofascial release? You know what I mean? Like it feels so much better. And that's because there's more energy going through your body. What about our teeth? This really blew my mind. What do our teeth look like? Well, they don't look like the power switches, but they kind of do in a way. It's like they're kind of like the circuit break. When the power goes out in the house, there's a big storm, the power goes out. You go out to the box, you flip the switch, and the mains power has been flipped down. So this then flips it back on. So that's how the power goes back into the house. So when some people have root canal and teeth issues, that can reduce the electrical voltage in the body. Each tooth is related to different organs: the liver, the heart, the kidneys, the digestive system. Every organ in the body is linked to our teeth. So if we ruin our teeth, we definitely ruin our health. This is really important. And don't be using fluoride toothpaste. There's other healthier toothpastes out there. So acupuncture, similarly, working on the electrical voltage of the body. Cell membranes, same thing again. Everything moving together creates electricity. Our mitochondria is number 4. So the mitochondria takes in protein, sugar, oxygen, light, magnetism from the earth. It takes in these invisible frequencies as well as our food, and then it takes that in, electrons pretty much from our environment, and then it sends out ATP, which is cellular energy for our brain, for our muscles, for our organs. So people with more muscle require more ATP, right? Those people that might be like quite into bodybuilding, they need to go to the gym more. They're like, I need to get back in the gym. I'm just not feeling right, because they need to charge their mitochondria up more. People who might be more skinny and more slender need less movement to charge their mitochondria. So there's like pros and cons. People who are heavy bodybuilders, it's not the best for our mitochondria long term, but it's still important to have muscle long term. Our DNA, this is also found with Constantine Mail, right? So DNA cell resonance, communication of cells explained by field physics, including magnetic scalar waves. This is the double helix of our DNA. This takes in scalar waves from our environment, nature specifically, to help bring healing and electrical voltage through our DNA, right? So every part here, those 5 battery packs help bring electricity and that battery charge to every part of your body. Structured water. There's only a few more here, guys. You're doing great. Are you guys learning something? Please put a yes in the chat if you're learning something. Awesome. How to increase your energy in your cells with structured water. Think about structured water as a different scaffolding, like of a building. You have a different, change the structure of a building, it changes the whole building. So this is a different structure of water. Dr. Jared Pollack, you can check out his book, The Fourth Phase of Water. So one phase of water is ice, right? Frozen. One is water, right? And then we've got vapor, so clouds, steam. But there's a fourth phase that they actually found, which is EZ or structured water, EZ, exclusion zone water, which actually formed more of a gel substance, which it wasn't like water or vapor or ice, it was a gel. So that's why it's the fourth phase. This is created through infrared light, through sunlight. This is why people who have saunas a lot of the time are very healthy. This is why people who get a lot of sunlight are very healthy. This is how airtarians who don't eat at all, how do they stay alive? They have more sunlight. They take in more light from the atmosphere, from the sun, and it actually creates more gel. Now, this more EZ water that you have, the more electrical voltage around your body. Low EZ water, stress, anxiety, depression, right? Sickness, disease. High levels of EZ water, structured water, health, vitality, energy, sleep, all the things that we need. So that's through sunlight. And that's what this book explained, is the science behind our sunlight impacts our water that's in our whole body. We're pretty much made up of all water. When you go on holidays, sit by the pool all weekend, how good do you feel? How good do you sleep? How much more energy do you have? How do you recover quicker from the hangovers, right? So Dr. Carolyn McMakin, I think it was like 30 or 40 years ago, her business partner bought a chiropractic or physiotherapy clinic, and out the back of the clinic was a frequency machine that they had no idea about. She then studied this frequency machine. She's written many books, The Resonance Effect, FSM Core, frequency-specific microcurrent for pain management. She, in my opinion, is the queen of frequency therapy. She has so much research. She's been like the rogue in the medical institutions throughout America to really show people that certain microcurrents reduce scar tissue, regenerates this, helps inflammation, speeds this up. She's got so much science in there, and that's where Healy have partnered with her to utilize her frequencies on the device, not the Healy specifically, but what's called the Mag Healy. So the Mag Healy is the next generation, which is you put it in a room, it creates two frequencies at once and emanates, and it helps to restructure the water, in our body, and it's through FSM. So if you guys want to learn about that as well, that's something you put in a room when you're working or with the family, at home or at a meeting. You can put it in the room and it emanates for everyone. So in a nutshell, we get well by doing one thing, which is creating new cells. So disease is then defined by inadequate voltage to create new cells. New cells don't form at a low voltage. Most chronic disease isn't caused by one single thing. It's a combination of things that reduce the cell voltage to zero. Does that make sense? So what is impacting cell voltage? These are the 5 areas. One is our thyroid. Our thyroid T3 controls the voltage of every cell membrane and total number of mitochondria in the body. Isn't that interesting? T2, the function of the mitochondria. So mitochondria, the health of it is through our thyroid. When I first got the Healy, it kept on coming up, bioenergetic harmony programs, thyroid. And I'd been going through a lot of stress and my body put on a lot of weight. So I started running the thyroid programs. And over a period of time, I then did a bit of fasting, changed my lifestyle with that, and I dropped about 9 kilos. Scar tissue. Scar tissue slows down the electrical voltage, right? When you look at scar tissue, you've got pre-injury, injured, and healed. The scar tissue there, it's all mangled. So the electrical voltage is going to get stuck. Root canal. One root canal tooth shuts down 60% of your immune system. Really important to look after your teeth. This is all through Dr. Jerry Tennant, not my research. Fear, sadness, guilt, anger, pain, What have we got here? Blame, shame. Your body is an orchestra. If one instrument is out of tune through an emotion, an orchestra, that note of blame or fear, it impacts the whole song. That note, one note in an orchestra can ruin the whole song, right? Each emotion is a frequency and gets stored in certain organs. Get this is fascinating. So if we keep feeling sadness, it's going to get stored in the lung. If we keep feeling anger, it's going to get caught in the liver. Fear, kidneys, spleen, anxiety, joy in the heart. So this is all illustrated, copyright Martha Turney, 2010 Sun Circle. So giving her credit, emotions are stored in the body. So for example, your digestive issues, right? Oh, gut health. Gut health is such a big thing at the moment. What if the gut health issue was coming from, hang on, which one is the gut? Yeah, is anxiety. This is another chart. Is through anxiety. Or lung issues, people having lung issues or kidney issues, gallbladder, liver issues, is from an emotion that's repetitive, because an emotion, as we saw with the experiment with Dr. Emoto, what we saw with cymatics, these invisible frequencies of thought, the observer effect. If we're observing the fear or trauma and the anxiety, we're observing that over time, we're feeling that consciously or unconsciously, it's going to put pressure on the colon. We're feeling fear, fear, fear. The observer effect, there's a higher probability of it impacting the body. There's a new cymatic through focusing on fear. My kidneys are going to get affected because each organ has a frequency, and fear and all these emotions have a frequency, and they just match up. So we can heal ourselves through changing our emotions. Now, where does this all make sense? The Healy is a device that uncovers those emotions, the trauma, the limiting beliefs, for you to actually self-heal at home, so we don't keep running those same patterns that are then lowering our voltage, electrical voltage, through emotional repetition. So this device can uncover those and help you resolve them. Worry, spleen, hate, impatience, small intestine, right? Or you might think of someone who's really angry all the time, really anxious all the time, really shy, really sad, really depressed. It's really impacting their organs over time. Kind of hard to say, oh, you just got to change how you're feeling and what you're focusing on. Like, oh, it doesn't make sense. That's all woo-woo. This is studied by Chinese medicine for thousands of years, and Indian Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years, a lot longer than our Western philosophy and medicine. Let me just drink some water. Humans, humans emit ions, right? Gas discharge, Kirlian photography. Someone who's sick, their energetic aura is disturbed. This is measured through Kirlian photography. In the middle, a healthy person, that their energy is clean and strong and stable. Yeah, someone who might be a bit sick or uneven has an uneven energy field. This is all documented through Kirlian photography. The magnetic field of the heart. Our thoughts and emotions affect the heart's magnetic field, which energetically affect those in our environment, whether or not we are conscious of it. It's affecting our energetic field, yeah, and it's affecting others and other people's energy. When you go in a room, for example, or maybe a new house or a restaurant, you might feel like, oh, I don't want to eat here. Something's not right. Or this person's house does something a bit spooky about it. Someone's energetics, or even the energetics of the house, and our heart picks up on that, right? We know this. This is intuitive to us, but now science is proving it. Lastly here, toxins ruin the electrical voltage of the body. Cigarettes, vapes, right? Sunscreens, fluoride toothpaste, food additives, certain sauces and all the stuff that we get from, big supermarket chains. The paint on the wall here has fire retardants and lead and, different, or maybe not anymore, but they used to have some pretty crazy chemicals in paint. Okay, I've made my point. Hopefully I've made my point here, guys. Slow down, Zach, we get it, right? Tell me about Healy. Energy, frequency, vibration, it's physics. Okay, cool. So introducing the next evolution of holistic health and freedom. This is Healy, right? This is why we're here. The vision is to empower people to live a healthy, fulfilled, and conscious life, and to inspire their growing community to make a continuous positive impact on humanity. I love that. This started for me with my mentor at 17, a family friend. His name is Jamie. He, 13 years after we met, told me about Healy. 3 days. We had our devices for literally 2 or 3 days. And I had this crazy idea. Let's jump in the car and go to Queensland just before Christmas of 2019 and go share this with some people, some really good friends up there. And he's like, let's do it. We jumped in the car, we put the boxes in the back, and we're like, let's go. And we just went up there and we scanned people. We showed people the Healy, pets, plants. We scanned everyone. We showed theta practitioners, 87-year-old Larry, Brandon in the middle here, losing his mind. We were literally mind blown. Biohacking people, yoga teachers, practitioners. We went to white parties, sober parties. We went to drinking parties. We just offered free sessions with people. We went to Bondi Beach. We went to Manly Beach. We just showed everyone. And this grew and grew and grew. And now there's about 400,000 people globally who have a Healy. They're getting amazing results. We have an amazing testimonial page. Does it work? Go to this group. Maybe someone here can actually put the link to the group in the chat. It's called the Frequency Experience. It's got a different graphic there now. There's about 70,000 people in here, and the testimonials, if you search in here, are amazing. So don't take my word for it. Go check it out. Do your own research. And when we put the right energy in the cells, the body starts to regenerate, get back into balance. The Healy puts your body back into balance, and the body is the miracle. These were the original machines, time waver. The lady on the left there holding the rods, running some programs, relaxing. Now I utilize it with wrist straps, ear clips, or sticky pads while I'm working, while I'm relaxing, sitting in the sun, grounding, eating lunch, before the gym, after work, whenever. I'm using frequency therapy. So they compress the same technology into a wearable. Carolyn McMakin, as I mentioned, she's on the science advisory board. Nuno Nina, who's this guy here. He has different frequency clinics in Portugal, and they've partnered. He's the king, she's the queen of frequency therapy, plus these other amazing doctors, practitioners, phytotherapy, energy medicine practitioners, naturopaths. It's a very holistic approach, which I really liked. So just to recap, how does it really work? It analyzes, on the left here, analyzes our bioenergetic imbalances. As we showed you, certain energy fields are strong, certain energy fields are weak. So the Healy will actually analyze which bioenergetic imbalance is there, and through personalization and dynamic feedback, the Healy is always reading the body to then send the specific frequency to catalyze organic healing in the body. Really simple. As we mentioned, putting your body with all the stresses that we're exposed to in the world, the Healy brings the body back into cell voltage. You can check out their website, timewaver.com, timewaver.com. Marcus Schmieke is an absolute genius. This is the man who invented it, over 20 books. He studied in India, he studied in Western and Eastern philosophies, and he studied quantum physics and created the time waver machines and also miniaturized it to be the Healy, as well as that mag Healy. We also have a watch, smart watch as well. And there's also Tesla coil technology with the Healy, so you don't have to wear the cords. You can actually do a Tesla coil, and it emanates for more like 20 centimeters up and down. So he's an absolute genius. He'll be presenting at the Bali trip. For those of you who have won the Bali trip in January, he'll be there as well. And I have never met him, but I've seen a lot of his webinars. You can check him out online. Christian Harper, he's a Healy investor. He's worth over 100 million. And he's the founder of a super fund hedge fund, and he invests in sustainable technology. So he partnered with Marcus to say, hey, let's fund this. Let's go to the world. Let's take the big technology where people are paying $100, $200, $300 a session and charged by the practitioner in practice. Let's miniaturize it, and let's have a vision of 100 million, 1 billion people globally, all aware of their energetics, the education piece that I love to add here, which is what we're here today, as well as other things. And other practitioners here all add these amazing insights into how the body actually heals and how the body works and functions, and really starts to share the hidden secrets of how our incredible body works with the environment and technology. So I'm going to do a quick little demonstration here, guys. So I'm going to jump on with my phone. So I want to walk you through 3 stages. The first stage is going to be 2 apps, the microcurrent, as well as the search function. The second part is going to be the scanning analysis. The second part is going to be more the vibrational, the resonance technology. All three of those have a place. And I'm going to give you guys an overview because some people might be at different stages of awareness, but I'll just give you a full overview. But when working with someone or showing this to someone, I don't share all of this straight away. I kind of take them on a journey. But the first part is kind of inside the box. If we look at a box of understanding, it's inside the box. The second part is on the edge of the box of our consciousness, a little bit out there. And the third part for most is definitely outside of the box of awareness. But the first part, if someone has an energy, they want more energy, right? They click on the energy. Where are we? Hang on a second. There we go. So if someone wants more energy, they click on the energy program. 55 minutes, they've mapped and researched the specific frequencies to help with energy. Now, it's not like having a coffee energy, but I ran this a bunch of times the other day and I woke up the next day an hour before my alarm. So that was pretty cool. Release is like tension in the body, right? So good with injuries at the moment here in Thailand. I've got some injuries and my body's recovering. It's fantastic for recovery, or like emotional stuck energy. If you just want to relax at the end of the day, put the relaxation program on. Drink 2 glasses of water with every program, helps the electrical voltage, right? Water. Pain programs, they have sticky pads. You put it directly on that area. Ear clips, right? Certain countries don't have this because of their laws, but in Australia and some other countries they do. You put it on, it's called transcranial stimulation. Helps to balance the brain hemispheres and relax the vagus nerve. Amazing. It's incredible. When I do a lot of cooking, I run a lot of the learning programs. I do an event called Broth Night. I have over 100 people every month. I've been doing it for 5 years. And when I cook, I do a vegetarian and I do a meat option. So I have to be very specific with my cooking. So I run the concentration program throughout the day that helps me focus. It's good for work. If you're procrastinating or you're putting off an assessment or putting off some work that you got to be doing, put this on and you'll just get more focused. Memory programs as well. Fitness, right? They speak for themselves. Sleeping programs, spoke about that. All the emotional stress that people are going through, some of the inner unity, emotional well-being are really good. My other Healy has more of the programs, the top part, but there's like hair, skin, nails, skin elasticity, all the beauty programs, scars as well. I've literally seen in a setting with someone when I was sitting with them, they ran the eye program and they said to me, Zach, I can see further and it's less foggy. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, I feel like it's working or running the eye program. So who here has glasses and wants to improve their eyes, for example? Immune system, anytime I'm on the edge, I run this, especially when I travel, creates more negative voltage, negative charge in the body. It's like when we ground to the ocean, we connect to the ocean, it creates more negatively charged electrons into the body. And this does the same thing. So there's studies to show it changes the blood as well. I might eat too much ice cream, right? Or have a bit of food poisoning, intestines. So I'm always using it. This time of the month is quite painful for some women. They swear by this. They put the sticky pads on their belly. Liver program, if you had too many drinks, lungs. So there's all those with all the meridians. I've literally seen some amazing results for allergies. People's energy goes through the roof when they run the heart meridian, lymphatic system. All the chakra programs focus specifically on the chakras and the electrical voltage of all the organs and glands. The bioenergetic boost was released for free for everyone to help people's immune system, as well as the coherence program to help people with electrosensitivity, but also stress throughout COVID. And then there's the digital nutrition, which is a whole nother conversation that there's so much. And if you want to get personalized frequencies made and programs made for you, the time waiver practitioners can add them onto your device. So that's the first step there. The second app in explaining this is the search function. So this is a compliant way to find out if you're going through a health challenge or you're sitting with someone and you want to find out what programs are best for them. Let's just say someone's got mold, right? Mold infection, the best programs to run, immune system, lungs, click on lungs, start, it opens the other app. So it's a search function to find exactly the frequencies and the programs to help you with any health challenge or health goal that you're working on. Right, it's all in here. Pretty cool. So that's the first part, stage one of understanding the Healy. That's step number one. Step number two is a lot more exciting. Well, that's really exciting, but this is like even more exciting. So our body, as we showed with the Kirlian photography, emanates energy, electricity. Now this device, when we hold it in our hands, is attached to, there's a lot of electricity from my body going into the device. And they have a sensor called a quantum sensor that actually picks up on that and understands what's out of balance. So for example, if I were to scan myself, just connects to the Bluetooth. And once you run the microcurrent, you can disconnect the Bluetooth. So then you don't need to have your phone with you all the time when you run the Healy. That's what I look like with a beard. All right, moving forward. So if I wanted to find out the best frequency for me right now, say my meridians, which meridian is needing some support for Zach right now? I hold the Healy next to my body. Yeah, it's recommending 57%. The highest percentage is the most out of balance and the most support that my body needs. My body needs the allergy meridian right now, or would benefit from that the most. And then 44% is less relevant, 43, less relevant again, down to 40%. So allergy meridian, right? I think because I had a little bit of dairy last night, that came up. Or if I'm like, I have no idea what area that I want to run, because there's so many programs, right? I go all Healy programs, 25. And this is going to scan those 25. This is just a button on the screen. It doesn't measure my fingerprint. This is going to measure all the different categories, and it's recommending the Watch DN programs, 65%. So there's a program in that my body needs. 61% Healy Deep Cycle programs, Healy Beauty programs, learning, and then the bottom is Meridian 2. So the hierarchy, 65%. So let's go back into that. So this is the personalization that we're talking about. It's tailored to specifically what my body needs in this second. Here we go. This is going to scan 20 different programs that I need. %. So it's like, Zach, you need this one. That's quite high. If it's usually around 40 or under 40, you don't really need to focus on it. But see, there's 71. So that's what I need right now. I'd go to the other app and I'd connect the microcurrent. That's phase 2, right? Is a searching function that allows you to uncover what's going on in this moment. That also allows you to search for other parts, more of a, you probably understand this, vital substances. They used to be called the amino acids. So this will uncover which specific vital substances my body needs right now. Vitamin E, L-phenylalanine, glycine, sulfur. So these are the amino acids my body needs. So I could go get the supplements, or I could run the vibration. So we're stepping now into the third category, which is the resonance. Like what Rife was using to get great results was through the resonance of frequency for different conditions. This is through resonance, the same resonance of vitamin E, and I can now do a vibration for 1 second up to hours. Say I'm running it for a whole hour. I can leave the Healy on the table and it creates a resonance. I can't hear it, but it's a quantum resonance with their software and their research that then supports those systems in my body. So it's through resonance. The third stage is also this aura scan. In ancient cultures, they knew them as chakras, right? Today we know them as like organs and glands. Let me take a sip of water. Ooh, all right. So my chakras right now, 100% would be the very top, coherence. Bottom would be 0, out of coherence right now. So the crown chakra pretty high, throat chakra is pretty high, root chakra is pretty high, but there's lower forehead, heart, plexus, and sacral. I want to know what's going on under the surface, because as we showed you before, our emotions can causes a frequency in the body that impacts our chemistry and can affect different organs. So in the meantime, if someone wants to understand which chakra resonates, what that means physically, so there's certain eyes or eyeballs or nose or sinuses or face, that's that chakra, right? What it means mentally, physically, emotionally, affirmations as well, because how we speak changes our frequency, as well as parts of nature, right? Whether there's homeopathy or certain crystals that also help those frequencies too. So this is, or help those chakras. So this is a self-coaching, self-analysis tool, or for a practitioner in practice. Now there's a full training on all of this, guys. I know I'm going through it really quickly. So this whole scan will pick up emotional disturbances, limiting beliefs, charges around mum, dad, sexuality, belief, money, and it's used as a reflection tool to uncover what's going on under the surface. And then through here, I can choose the vibration, say for an hour or for, I don't know, 5 minutes. And it runs the vibration to help balance out through resonance, like the tuning fork, to then tune my body's chakras back into balance. So that's more of the third stage there, and requires a little bit of understanding and learning.